Hello guys and welcome back to some more portrait drawing studies. It's been a bit since my last portrait drawing video, and it's because I've been busy with uni and pretty much other stuff with Lion Song, trying to finish it up as soon as possible right now. And yeah, and I just thought in this particular day of the recording that it would be a great idea to do some portrait studies since it's been a little bit, sorry. And I wanted to get some content over to YouTube about portrait studies. So, yeah. Anyway, in here I kind of messed around with like two brushes here. This one in particular is like a sort of chocolate brush that I made. I wasn't really satisfied with how it turned out here. So after this recording, I kind of changed it a bit, tweaked it into a more friendly looking thing. But the other brush that I also used here is a kind of flat oval brush that I made using just the default round brush here in Photoshop and just squashed it a bit, and that turned out to be much better than this chocolate brush. Yeah. So here, in the purpose of this this portrait study, it was to get the likeness and the expression right of the portrait. And here also I was using line of action as because it provides you not just figure drawing references, but also faces, animals, environments, and all that kind of stuff. So I was using that, and each portrait I set it to about 5 minutes each. But after 5 minutes, I kind of paused it a bit to really get into the nitty-gritty details of the portraits. Yeah. So the method I'm using here is I think the same as what I used in the previous portrait drawing study. Pretty much Brian Lee's method. It's pretty much a circle, dot, and that kind of stuff. Watch the previous portrait drawing video if you want. But I go really in detail there. But here it's more like a quick portrait study. I wasn't really too focused onto the measurements. I was just trying to get the general measurements, then trying to adjust it bit by bit, trying to get the likeness of the portrait right, and also trying to get the expression right. So yeah, here's the flat brush that I was using, and it's quite versatile. In general, you can use it as for basic sketching, your final line art drawing if you want, because it's quite dynamic. It has a thin side and quite a thick side. Gives you dynamic lines, and then you could also use it to paint, which is quite all in one. That's how how much of a workhorse brush this was. Yeah, and also I wasn't using my Cintiq here as per usual. I was actually using my my tablet to draw onto Photoshop, and I was using that with Super Display, and you can buy that off of Google Play or probably App Store as well. And it allowed me to connect my tablet onto my PC, laptop stuff, and be able to use it as a sort of Cintiq. But it doesn't feel the same way. I think it depends on the tablet you're using. But anyway, it didn't feel the same. It felt quite. It didn't register some of the strokes well compared to my Cintiq. But anyway, it did pretty well. It did okay. It's kind of forced me to look at the portrait more, and also be efficient with my line work, and which is quite it was quite helpful into simplifying the face even more. However, it's quite unavoidable to be distracted by all the details, especially with this portrait that I'm doing here right now. This guy had a lot of hair, and I was like, oh dude, how do I paint that? and stuff. Yeah, I kind of threw off the overall purpose of the portrait study that I was doing, which is simplifying the face into basic lines and shape, and also to also capture the expression into its like purest form. Yeah, but I will definitely get to the point where I'm just gonna use simple lines and shape to just paint the portrait and get the expression right. But I'm not there yet because I'm still learning. There's still room to grow. For this last one, I've kind of exaggerated the proportions of the face a little bit, kind of like a little bit comic booky, but I was still trying to keep in mind the simple shapes and lines and also getting the expressions right. So I think if I've not told you guys already recently, I've been having difficulty drawing eyes. But here, even though the eyes look quite simple and normally I would be very disgusted with how it looked, it kind of looked appropriate for this portrait here. I don't know why. It's just such a simple eye looking thing. But anyway, it kind of worked on the whole. But yeah, hopefully you guys kind of like this short portrait study video. So yeah, I kind of sped this video up into just 4 minutes because I didn't want to talk for like an hour and stuff, and also I wasn't really recording my voice here. But hopefully you guys like this video. Hopefully it helped you, and yeah, see you next time. Bye.